Welcome to West Country Tech Time, and this is video number 4. In this video, we're going to be doing some basic how-tos on the CCTV recorder. Now, for most of you, you would have had the recorder installed, whether or not it's been installed recently and you just want a bit of a recap, or it was installed, anything up to a year or two ago. You haven't had to look back at some footage, and you've simply just forgotten some basic how-tos on the recorder. Now, obviously with your recorder, you're gonna have a mouse. In this instance, we've got a wireless mouse. More than likely, you're gonna have a wired mouse, but equally, you could have a wireless mouse. Now, this is our recorder here behind me, and this is, in our case, a much larger screen, but you're probably gonna have a 21-inch CCTV monitor, about so big. These are all of our cameras in the office. You can see a real-time recording or live image of me sat here talking to you guys. So you can see here, as I move the mouse around, the mouse is moving on the screen like a standard computer mouse. To do anything on this, you've got to right-click to log in. However, there is some basic things that you can do without logging in. So the first one is double-clicking on an image to make it full screen. The image we've got here that's in full screen at the minute, that's our PTZ, or for a lot of farms, the livestock camera that's installed. I can simply double click that and that'll take that, well, that's already in full screen at the minute. But if I double click, say, our ANPR camera, number plate recognition camera, you can now see that's gone to full screen. And likewise, if I click this camera here, you can now see the state of our office that we've just had to move all the gear out of the way to do this video. But you can just double click and it will take you back to that camera that you want on a larger image. You can do that without having to log into the recorder. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log into the recorder to look at playback. So I'm going to right click anywhere on the screen. This menu will be brought up, and here you can see search. It's not called playback, they call it search. That's how we're going to be able to go into the recorder and look at any playback of any camera. So we're going to click on that. It's now going to bring up this login menu. I'm going to log in by simply drawing our pattern. You will have a unique pattern for your site. If you don't have that, there's also a username and a password. We should have given you that. If you don't have it, get in contact and we'll have details saved. So now I've logged in and it takes us to this screen. Now, if you remember this, it's all going to make complete sense. If you don't, it's quite simple really. You've got on the top right hand side, you've got the date. Below that, you've got the camera, and then below it, you've got the events that the camera has recorded. So well, first of all, it's actually decided that I want to show 4 cameras here, but I don't. So I'm going to untick all those, and I've just ticked Smart Turret, which is one of the cameras that's behind me. And I'm going to look back at, let's say, yesterday. So now that I've clicked the camera, I've clicked the date, it now shows on here as a 24-hour scale, the recordings. So you can see here, look, the engineers first got in at 7 in the morning and we left at about, well, in fact, we left in the office at about 5:30 yesterday. So this is where it's picked up on all the recordings. Now you can, let's say, you can highlight your mouse over this, and as you can see, it brings up some screenshots or some stills. But if you're adamant that it happened at, say, 2 in the afternoon or whatever time it is, you can quickly get your mouse and click where you want it to be. And as you can see here, this is Georgie and Charlie talking yesterday. Now it's on 24-hour recording at the minute, 24-hour scale. What I'm going to do, down at the bottom right-hand side, you've got 24-hour, 2-hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I'm going to click now on 1 hour. Now the scale changes, and now I've got a bit more flexibility over what I select. The yellow bars here, because this camera's set to record on motion, represents every single time it's detected motion and recorded. So I've now only got to click on any of these yellow dots and it will take us to that recording at that time. So again, let's go over that again with another camera. If we go for our Smart Tracking PTZ, if we double click on the day, which is today, and I'm going to select a time. Now let's do a nighttime one. According to this, right. So this camera actually records every time it detects motion, every time it moves, that is motion. So what we'll do is we'll go for a daytime. So I'm going to go for 9 in the 9:20 or so. And then, because obviously those lines are far too small, I'm going to go down the bottom right hand side, select 1 hour or even 30 minutes. And now I've got a lot more flexibility. So now I can snap onto this one here, and according to this camera, it's picked up the motion. No, it's just the camera moving, which in the camera's mind, it thinks it's detected motion. That's it for playback. It is literally a case of, if I just come out of this, so to come out of it, you right click. We are literally going to right click, click search. We're already logged in now, but if you're not logged in, remember, draw your pattern or put your username and password in. And now you want to select the day, select the camera with the tick. It does have the ability to play multiple video feeds at the same time. Let's say you've got 3 cameras installed, something's been stolen, and you want to be able to watch the movements of the person as they go past each camera, then you can do that. So just to show that, we've got 3 cameras selected here. Okay, right, at this time it's 2 cameras, but these 2 cameras here, there's John coming in with his box, and that's 2, even though it looks like the same image there, the cameras behind me are all looking at the same thing, so it is actually 2 feeds. But anyway, yeah, select your date, select the camera, select your time along the bottom, change your scale at the bottom right, and then click play. You've got play here, you've also got slow, so you can watch it slowly, you can fast forward it, you can skip, and that's it on the playback. In fact, there's only really 3 things that people tend to use on the recorder. You've got all of these options here. This recorder can handle a lot of different cameras with a lot of features. 90% of our sites, we tend to install just security cameras, livestock cameras, maybe number plate recognition. We've got a few sites with thermal, but there's going to be 3 things, and that is searching, PTZ control, and changing the layout. So searching being playback, we've gone through that. The next one is PTZ control. So if you've got a livestock camera or a PTZ, a pan tilt zoom camera installed outside, you're going to click PTZ control, and now you're going to get this little window open up, and you're going to have the ability to move the camera around. So just by, again with the mouse, left click, you've got the ability to move the camera. Now, a great little feature that we use, if you are controlling the camera and you're looking at a calf or something that's quite far away and you want to quickly zoom in, let's say it's a car with a number plate, that little icon there, you can select that and you can literally draw a box around what you want it to do, and then draw it again, and it will zoom into that specific location. And then if you draw the same box in the opposite direction, it will zoom out, but that may be a little bit complicated. Alternatively, you right click and you can zoom out. Now, just to go over that again, if you want to control the camera, we're going to right click, go to PTZ control. You can control the camera manually with these directions. Alternatively, the little icon in the middle of the directions, select that. Now, with the mouse, oh, blimey, throwing the mouse everywhere. I'll do that bit again. So just to go over that again, click PTZ control. You can control the camera manually with these arrows, or the little icon in the middle of the arrows, select that, and then using the mouse, you can just draw like you would select some folders on your desktop PC when you draw a box. You just quite simply draw a box around the area you want it to zoom into, and the camera zooms in. That's a great feature if you've got livestock in a shed and you want to quickly zoom into a freeze brand number, an ear tag number, or if the camera's outside, and like in this instance, if we want to zoom in and view a number plate quickly. Then to zoom back out, the quickest way is just to right click and hold down the minus zoom button, and the camera will zoom out. Ignore focus, ignore iris. These cameras do it automatically for you. So the only thing you're really going to use on that is the zoom feature or the automatic zoom, which we just selected. And that is a basic PTZ control. Now, if you've got your camera set to patrol, which means the camera's moving on its own over set locations, like our camera is, you can control the camera, and then when you come out of it and we go to another camera, and we'll go back to the PTZ, this camera, we've set it to 15 seconds. The camera will go back to its patrol and it will do its thing again. So you don't have to worry about turning that on and off. Now, a good little feature you can do on the PTZ cameras, most sites that we have the PTZ camera installed, which is normally in a livestock shed, but let's say it's outside, we get it to move every 15 seconds like this camera currently is. Some people, let's say it's in a calving shed, they've got one pen they want to look at and they don't want the camera moving around. they just want it fixed just for a period of time, let's say it's just for one night, you can actually right click on the PTZ camera on the image, go down to PTZ control again, and then on the right hand side there's an arrow. Click that and then ignore all of these icons except the one that's got the small camera with a blue dot above it. Select that and that will turn off or turn on or turn off, depending on which way you've done it, the patrol. So I've just turned this off now so that camera won't move anymore. And if I then want it to go back to patrolling, so let's say we've come out of this, now that camera's going to stay there. And then I go, you know what, we've looked at what we wanted to see, now I want it to go back to patrolling. I would go PTZ control, click this, click that icon again, and then the camera will go back to its patrolling mode. The next most commonly used feature on the recorder is just simply changing the layout. I mean, we've got this many cameras, it makes sense for us to have one large one and lots of small images. Again, on here, if you right click, you've got your search, which we've done, playback, you've got PTZ control, which is controlling the livestock camera or the PTZ camera. The next one is this layout. So you can change the layout. You know, we do get a lot of people phone us and say we've lost camera images, and actually they haven't lost them. They've just changed the layout of the cameras by accident. They've right click something, and it's snapped to that. And actually they haven't lost their images. They're all there. They've just chosen a different layout. So what we can do is we can right click. I mean, to be honest with you, you're not going to break anything here. You've got 5 options: view 1, 4, 8, 9, and 16. For us, what we suit best is this one. So that shows all of our cameras and the PTZ camera.